Hello, everyone. It gives me no joy to say this, even though I got a smile on my face. But, it's got to be done. It doesn't have to be done, but it's a good topic. So what's going on is someone who's very prominent in the community has turned heel. You may have heard of the Facebook group Bottom Feeders. It's primarily a squonk-based group, but they sell all sorts of stuff. They do group buys for billet box stuff, RBAs, mods. They have collab mods just for that Facebook group. I did a review on one, the Submonkey M Key. Juices, tons of juices, pods, disposables. You could have basically got anything through and for any brand through the Bottom Feeders group buys through a guy named Aaron Vasquez. Aaron's an American. He's one of many people that ran the group, but he's like the main guy. Well, he is no longer a part of that group, and because I found out today, he's no longer welcome there, as he's done some bad deals recently. A lot of people have paid for things and have not received them. Hold on. So, here's a guy who PM'd me shortly after I read about this, and basically told me that 2 weeks ago, hold on, 2 weeks ago, he bought a bunch of juice from him, and he received it. That was only 2 weeks ago. Now this girl spent almost $400 worth of disposables, and she has not received them. She hasn't got any responses about it. He's MIA. So I took some screenshots of this whole ordeal because I found it very interesting. A number of things about it. Very interesting. So the first post I read, it didn't really say who it was. It just hinted, and being that, he's the main guy of Bottom Feeders, I looked up his profile, and it says former member of Bottom Feeders. So I knew that's who it was about. Then I look into these posts. Here we have James Mucklin, who makes the best coils ever, says it looks like he took a bunch of money and never placed the orders. He's not responding to anyone. Ethan Windsor from Fresno Fog, Fresno Fog. He also has chimed in on this. We got another guy. I did the same list in September, talked with him a few days before Christmas, never heard from him since. Somebody saying, I watched you spend big money in these groups for a while now. Sorry this happened to you. The girl's name is Amy. I've seen her around plenty of times. Tyler saying this is the third person he's heard of this happened to just today. I mean, so all these prominent people that are always using the groups, everybody knows about this at this point. James Browning saying, can someone explain what's going on? Hasn't heard from Aaron since before Christmas. And Michael Meller, who I did a video on his RBA, he's also trying to explain it, saying, we don't know the circumstances, but, he bailed out on everyone. He was selling a lot of his personal stuff in a lot of stuff in buy-sell trades, taking payments on group buys and stuff and not fulfilling them. So this is bad. I've looked further into that same thread, right? And one of the guys that chimes in, his name is Jason Wiltrek. It says, he's an addict. Once you have that mindset, you can tuck it away and try to hide it, but it can be awakened in seconds. And James says, I know I'm recovering. Basically, just about everybody in these fucking groups is a recovering addict. If you're an American, I mean, it's just the way it is for some reason. That guy Jason Wiltrek, it's funny he write that because it only makes sense because I know he's burnt people. This was like at least a year ago, maybe longer. I sold my Voodoo doll Susie Halloween edition to this guy, and like a week later he took a bunch of money from people and sent them like something completely different. He burned a couple people. I know this for a fact. And I blocked him eventually because I think later he tried to get me to vouch for him. I'm pretty sure. I can't remember if that was him or somebody else. This stuff happens. And he writes that thing about being an addict. And look, here's the people that liked his post. They probably have no idea that this guy is guilty of the same thing that Aaron did. Except Aaron did it on a much larger scale because of who he is and because he can. Look who liked it. Alex Levinsky, the guy who makes the he's got 2 RDAs, the palette and the new one. I don't know. I forget what the hell it's called. I didn't get it. And the person we're talking about, Aaron, he did an RDA with Hussar. I reviewed it. It's called the CRRNT RDA. This is the guy that this whole thing is about. The guy who made the CRRNT. And Alex is the guy that made the palette. So both of them were made through Hussar. So all these things, they all tie together. But that's the big news. Crazy. I mean, basically everybody. I mean, if you've been in the groups for a year or more or however, just about everybody has done some kind of business with Aaron Vasquez. So for this to happen, it's a big deal. It's not just anybody that turned heel here. It's a pretty important figure in the community. So I thought y'all should know that. Pretty upsetting. That was the main thing I wanted to say. I wanted to show you, I mean, there's other stuff I could talk about real quick. you know. But that was the main talking point. It just goes to show you, I mean, these kind of things can happen with anybody. This guy had years and years of sobriety, and the consensus is that he relapsed. I thought maybe he just took on too many deals, and couldn't fulfill them, and then just said fuck it. But him selling his personal stuff too, and like, sounds like he was really going out of the way to screw people over, and somebody like him could do that for a long time and get away with it before people realized. He was in a position where a lot of people trusted him, and because a lot of the group buys, right, they take months to be fulfilled, at least 1 month. Most of the time it's longer, especially if it's for like hardware. It could be like 3 months or more. So he could just keep telling people, yeah, it's soon. Yeah, they're gonna be shipped in a week. I mean, I've had to deal with all of that. Him saying something's gonna take a couple weeks and it taking 3 months. I've had the same thing happen, but it always worked out in the end. But now, not so much. So, yeah, he really, that hurts the trust for anything going on in the community. I mean, these people are not infallible. They're regular people that can just turn on a dime just like anybody. I mean, you think you know somebody or know their character at least, and then shit like this happens. So that's what I say to those comments about, how could you buy? This is just a counter argument. I'm not going to stay on this long, but, when people say things like, oh, how could you do that? How could you buy clones when, we have this tight relationship with our community members and our modders and stuff? Well, look at this guy. I mean, he's not a modder, he's a designer, and he does group buys, but he's basically at that status of, like, well-regarded. And what did it amount to in the end? So, SXK is not going to do that to any of us. They're not going to turn heel one day and burn us all. I mean, I guess anything could happen, but, the odds are is when it's through a whole company, a major company like that, you're in good hands compared to one individual who's juggling tons of stuff, who, I mean, anything could happen. He could get in an accident or something and everyone's fucked, so there's more risks than it would appear. I mean, especially for how much this shit it costs, you're taking much more of a risk when you're dealing with one person that's responsible for everything, for all these sales. If something goes wrong, who's to say that they're going to be able to pay anybody back or everybody back? I mean, this has happened to me before with that company Clout, with the Clout mod from a guy from England, or Russian, England, Ukraine, I don't know. They were a mix of people, but Nikita, I think his name was, the main guy. So, if you're not in the groups, you wouldn't hear it from anybody, but figured I would tell you, in case you didn't know. It's still relatively new information. So, on a lighter note, I'm just going to throw this up real quick. JG made a post the other day. It was like what his favorite mods were right now, and one of them was this, and I'd never heard of it. It's by Sturm. Sturm Amber Mods does the Avatar and the Aviator, and that's Sturm. Okay, they're European. I don't even know what country they're from. Spain? I don't know. I forget. But anyhow, without further ado, here's this. It's called a blackjack, which there already is a blackjack. Boxmod Mafia has a squonk mod called a blackjack. So, like I said, there's a whole ocean of names that you could pick, but we all copy each other's names and designs. So, but I like it. It looks cool. That's the blackjack. It actually kind of looks like a BMM mod a little. It looks like that new bootlegger a little bit. I mean, just that curve in there. I don't even think that's a fire button, that face card. But that's where like the fire button is on the bootlegger. So kind of looks like that. Here's an RBA I've never seen covered. I've seen it around, I just never seen anyone talk about it. I don't know if Mark has a video on it or not. It's called the EVA. I mean, there's nothing that really stands out about it, but somebody was selling this. Looks like more of an MTL, excuse me, type of bridge. But thought I would mention it just because it'd be nice if there was more coverage on all this stuff, you know? These modders just solely rely on word of mouth through Facebook, so. Look at this beautiful Vidar. Oh, God. I think these are nice. Although I like the styling of the 18650 ones more. Look at this stabwood mod. I mean it's all Vicious Ant's mostly resin, but their colors are out of this world. I mean, that is gorgeous. I would definitely like to get a Vidar soon. But yeah, Vicious Ant, I doubt that company would just screw everybody over all of a sudden, too, you know? It's just that, you know, you never know what you're going to get. These things can happen. People rely so heavily on the character of others, and I mean, as they should be able to, but it never works out that way. Yeah, so I called this guy out right in the post. I said, funny, because just the other year, Jason Wiltrek burned a bunch of people. I put it right in the open. Just fuck them. And James Browning wrote back, people in glass houses, eh? So, yep. That's the community we live in. When people do shit like that, they disappear for a while, and then they try to resurface again and hope everybody forgot, you know? And it's happened. A lot of people, you know, and then moderators have to go out of their way to find these people to make sure they're kicked out of these groups. It's a lot of work trying to keep track of all the bad guys. But there's one, Jason Wiltrek. Tread lightly if you deal with him. Maybe he fixed everything and I don't know that, but I doubt it because a lot of time went by and nothing happened. So now he's like resurfaced. A lot of people called him out too. It wasn't just one person. Yeah, bad stuff. Alright, I do got a fair bit of things to do. I don't know if I want to do a long one here. This is suiting me well. D650. This thing is great. I have a whole concept video for this, which should be pretty cool. It's a lot more elaborate than I thought. I don't want to give too much away about it, but it's definitely going to be a good one, in my opinion. I just put out the Maven video today, and that was probably the best RBA of 2023. Yeah, and I got a few other videos that I've already filmed that I just have to get around to editing, so it's a lot to juggle. But yeah. Oh, and I got my shorts filmed too, and I want to piece them together. It's going to have to be a lot of quick cuts to like fit everything I want to fit in there, but we'll figure it out. Okay. I think that's it. I just wanted to get that out. Oh, and a dash vapes. I put that other short up. I did that like on a whim, like just for the hell of it. Yeah, that's a YouTube channel that disappeared 7 months ago. It was their last video. Dash TV. They used to be Dash Vapes. They're in Canada. I'm thinking maybe since Canada did those new laws or regulations where only certain content can be posted for Canada. Like their government is communistic and is infringing on their free speech and their rights to post videos and stuff. So because it's vape related, they probably can't even make videos legally now. So that could be why they're not there anymore. Their vape shop probably got closed down too. They probably couldn't. I don't know about that, but yeah, I mean, it's bad news all around, you know? God damn. Wish I had something good to say, shit. So, yeah, another one bites the dust. And this thing with Aaron, that just really sucks. You know, a lot of people, he dealt with so many people. I know I've spent at least a few $100s with him. At very least, I mean, probably I want to say at least like a grand total over the years, you know. Luckily, I just don't buy shit anymore. I don't buy new juices really. I just stick to the same ones. I buy them from legitimate websites, and because that could have been me. Very well could have been me. So, alright guys, just be careful who you deal with, and you know, always just hope for the best, and hopefully this doesn't, you know, keep, you know, things on a negative, like, a negative what? Trajectory. There we go. Okay, I'll see you. Bye.